Makeup by Yuri here again. You know I just said that like my last video. So yeah, again, I don't have my contacts in because I ripped my left contact. So on that note, you all see me in my lovely glasses. Do I look good? I know. You don't have to tell me. It's okay. It's okay. So my friend has a website. I know y'all probably heard of me saying this. Like, girl, come on. We heard you the last 10 times. But her website is called Spend the Night. And she sells lingerie, makeup bags, the onesie pajamas that us women love to wear. She has slippers. And she has many other items. And she gave you all a coupon code, EURI21, that will be until February 14th. So after February 14th, the coupon code will not be there anymore. And it gives you 10% off. So that's just lovely. Today we're going to be having a story time, or doing a story time. I know I just did one and I liked the last one I did so much that I wanted to do another one. So I decided to hit my brother up and get a few more stories. And that is exactly what I did, okay? These stories are about our police interactions. I have 3 different stories. So these are about our police interactions. One, we were living in Jeannie's at the time. I know y'all heard about the dog story that was in Jeannie's. Yes. We were living in Jeannie's at the time, and we were driving down McLaurin. Now, McLaurin, if you go down the street towards Jeannie's, towards West Florissant, there's a wraparound so this is the street, and it's train tracks like right next to it. So we're going down the wraparound, and this police officer sees my mother and myself driving down the street. And he stopped us because, you're not going to believe this, her license plate was in her window. Yes. He stopped her because her license plate was in the window. Now, mind you, some of these older cars, people have lost the screws to the front license plates or any part of the license plate. They have lost the screws to it and everything. But this police officer pulls us over because her license plate was in the front window. My thing is, as long as the license plate goes to the car, it should be okay. It's not like the license plate is blocking her view. The license plate is on the passenger side in the window. Wasn't blocking her view at all. If anything, it wasn't even blocking my view when I was in the passenger seat. So I just felt like he wanted to have somebody to mess with that day. And that's the only thing that I could chalk it up to be, was the fact that he just wanted somebody to mess with that day. I forgot to put my wedding ring on. Oops. But yeah, that's one of the stories. Another story was, I was driving through I forgot the name of the apartment complex. But I was driving through some apartment complexes in Ferguson, Missouri. And I guess the speed limit was 20 miles per hour. I was doing 25, maybe. But I ended up getting pulled over. And I was like, hey, what did you pull me over for? He tried to say it was for speeding, but I wasn't going that fast. The only thing that I was able to think about was the fact that I had 3 males in my back seat, which consisted of my dad and my 2 brothers. And he pulled us over because he said that I was speeding. But you can go at least 5 miles per hour over the speed limit. If I wasn't doing 25, I was probably doing, 3 miles over the speed limit? At most. But yeah. And I was just like, he's like, well, I'm not going to give you a ticket today, but I'll give you a warning. Me personally, I just believe he was just trying to see who was in my car. And if we was trying to break in somewhere, even though we lived in the area. But I was like, this is just too much. I'm getting tired of living over here. Let's just move and going about our business. You know, that's not why we moved. But anyway, yeah, I was tired of it. I'm like, why? Y'all just want to pick on me. But I do have a good police story after this last one. But yeah. So the next story is we was driving down Highway 70 right by Hanley Road. So if you come in off of 170 onto 70, it's a ramp you have to go around to get onto 70. And the police officer had to be sitting a little further back than the ramp. Just a little further back than the ramp. My dad was coming around the little ramp to get on 70. And we got off the ramp, the police officer got behind us. Now, if you live in St. Louis, you know the little side of the road on the highway, you know that police officers don't have really enough space to stand right there without getting hit, right? So me, I believe I was like 14, probably 13, 14 at the time. And I'm telling the officer, I'm like, his window don't lay down. You can come over here and talk through my window so you can speak to him. And I was just like, I'm not talking to you. And I was like, I'm just trying to help you out. Like, you want to get hit? Because he would have to open up his door and you would have to move out further into the highway to talk to him. Like, what do you want to do? He's like, ma'am, or, yeah, he said, ma'am. I'm like, I'm 14. I'm a kid. I'm just trying to help you out. Can you, like, come over here? I don't want to see you get hit. My dad was like, Rika, just shut up. Just shut up. So, I just sat there, like, okay. And guess what he had to do anyway? He had to come on my side to talk to my daddy. I was like, now I know he feels stupid. Like, I've been trying to tell him that before he even went over there. Why all of a sudden, you want to look at me like I'm crazy? Now that you got to come on this side. Like, I just wasn't understanding it at all. At all. Personally, I just wasn't understanding it. Now, the good part, or the good police story that I have is, I'm a praise dancer, and I was praise dancing since my sophomore year of high school, okay? We would go from, we walked from Jenny's high school to my friend's house, which was off of West Florissant. So that was like a 2.5, maybe 3-mile walk to her house. And we would do that just about every day for practice. Now, mind you, I didn't have my license. I wasn't driving at the time or anything. So we got to her house, and I was there for, I'm going to say about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, somewhere around there. And I didn't feel like walking home. So what I did, I walked up her street, made a right to go towards McLaurin, and right at the stop sign was a police officer. I was like, hey. He's like, huh? I said, can you please give me a ride home? I'm tired. I just came from practice. Like, I am just so exhausted. And he was like, yeah, come on, go ahead and get in. So he let me in. You know, of course, the police officers have to run your name and all that good stuff. So he ran my name, and he was like, why are you walking? I was like, well, I'm not old enough to have my license. I don't have a car, and I just came from practice. So, yeah, I'm tired. And he was like, well, I can take you home. And he ended up taking me home. And he was like, you have nothing on your record. Go ahead and keep that up. And I said, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So that was one good police story. Another one is me and my boyfriend at the time. We got stranded on 367. I had to park my car in the parking lot on 367 in Bellefontaine Road. And we walked down 367. We walked down, it was Chambers and Bellefontaine Road. We walked down Chambers to 367, got on 367 right by the St. Louis County Library, and we stood there for a moment. My phone was dead. His phone was dead. So I'm just like, what are we going to do? So I was able to flag somebody down and call the police. They called the police, and the police finally came. We was like, we stranded. Our car got broken down. We don't have a way home. Our phones are down. And my mother, like, I didn't know this, but my mother had been calling the police and been calling my phone, like, for the past hour or so. Because it took us about an hour to get down to 367. So she been calling the police and stuff because they did not know where we were at. And so That's when the police finally showed up. And I was like, we're stranded. We don't have a way home. Our phones are dead. Can you take us home? And he put, he let us go ahead and get in the car. He took us home. Of course, again, they ran our names and everything. But this time, he actually allowed me to use his phone to call my mother and let her know we were on our way. Because we were like, we was 19. I was like 17, 18, around that time. And I don't know, I was just shocked that these two police officers helped us out in the way that they did. Because, a lot of times black folks or African Americans and police officers just don't get along the way that they should. And these officers were pretty nice, and they helped us out quite a bit. And one more, this is pertaining to officers that were working at my school. There were Genie's police officers, and it was Officer Donaldson, which I know a lot of people will remember, and there was Officer 𝐂𝐬𝐍𝐄𝐶. Their name always was so hard for me to pronounce. But I ended up making friends with both of them. Officer Donaldson, I had been knowing since freshman year, and even after school, me and him would still communicate with each other and hang out. And one day I just didn't hear from him anymore, and I was trying to figure out why. Because I found out he stopped working for the high school. And then I reached out to Officer 𝐂𝐬𝐍𝐶 and found out he wasn't working at the school anymore either. But I had both of their phone numbers, and I would call every now and then just to check up on them. And it came to a point to where I wasn't able to get a hold of them at all. And to this day, I still don't know where they at. Like, I used to talk to him just about every day, all the time, and now I just don't know what happened to him. I don't know where they at. But these are a few negative and positive police stories that I have. And I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope to see you guys Monday. And please like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.